Hey YouTube, it's been a long time. Haven't made a video for a while, but I think it's about time. I've been procrastinating, admittedly. Um, I was trying to keep everyone up to date with my healing journey, um, not for attention, but to help others that feel like, they don't have a voice themselves. They may feel alone. They may feel misunderstood. All things that I have felt and sometimes do feel to this present day. And the misunderstood part is the thing that gets me the most, because when people haven't been through certain events in their own life, it can make it hard for them to perceive outside the boundary of their own mental peripheral. And I think as a society, it will be really beneficial if we could change that, because I feel that ignorance is what stops humanity from evolving to a level where we don't have to stoop down to certain levels. I myself, I find that I'm highly sensitive, empathetic. I'm very good at picking up on subtle moods and so on and so forth. But also due to, some people that may have manipulative tendencies, lack of accountability, and just be generally unconscious. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure we've all been guilty of that at some point in our lives. It creates environments where, the outcome is of a lower vibration than it needs to be, because if we are going out of our way to make sure that we are kind, make sure that we are transparent, make sure that we are positively reassuring. I realized my shoulders was up, I was looking very tense. Then how could we have problems? And even if we do, we would be kind enough to navigate them, and thoughtful and emotionally intelligent enough to navigate them in a way that is effective for all parties involved. Nobody is perfect, and those that have been wounded, especially multiple times, are going to need extra patience, extra care, extra understanding, and I just feel that those that are healing, it's very important for them to have very strong boundaries, because what can happen is, along the way, people can end up, preying on your vulnerabilities. And me, myself, I'm very calm, I'm very loving, but I have a very bad temper. And if my buttons are pushed continuously over and over and over and over and over again, naturally, I may get bloody pissed off eventually. And I don't think that's anything to be really guilty of. I don't particularly enjoy reacting in that way. But I don't think it's anything to be guilty of, because if you don't feel safe in your space and you suffer from something like CTPSD or anxiety or any of those things, and you've had, a lot of manipulators and gaslighters throughout your life, isn't it only natural that you may react in a different way that people may label as unhealthy? Of course it's going to be unhealthy, because you've had a lot of people treat you in an unhealthy way. Now, another thing that I would like to address, it doesn't necessarily mean because you've had unhealthy experiences with others that you are generally like a low person in society, and that you don't have also high vibrational experiences. It doesn't mean that. And I think it's really sad that some people can actually assume that because you've been through things that was out of your control, that wasn't very pleasant, that now you're just like a piece of shit. Because we even have abuse, happening in very high places in the world. Very sadistic things happening in high places in the world. And these are people that we actually look up to. Some of these people, not all of them, may actually be policy makers, working in law and government and all the rest of it. You get bad and good people everywhere in all walks of life. So I find it really, really closed-minded when people sort of box, people into one category. You can even, believe it or not, get somebody, for example, and this is a bit, unrelated, but just as an example, somebody that was completely high in status, as much as that's a term that is got a lot of fallacy around it, because it's a very shallow term. It's a very what's the word? I can't think of the word. Shallow. I'm trying to think of another word for shallow, basically. It's a very shallow term to describe things in society, but sometimes we need these terms in order to identify these things. I think that it's very shallow to assume, that people belong in boxes because of what they've gone through. I think that's ridiculous, and it just shows me how uneducated people are, and how unwhole they are. Because the more wholesome you are, the less that you judge others. Don't get me wrong, I can be a proper asshole if somebody pisses me off and I'm sort of dishing back what they gave to me, I do try my best to hold my tongue. I really do. But I'm human. And there are some times when I may lash out back, I will never start anything for no reason. I may sometimes assume things out of being a bit suspicious over people because of my experiences, naturally. But I would always usually approach people about it and ask them. They may take offence. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm willing to apologise and be accountable. However, some people also use that to their advantage, and knowing all that what I just said, and will actually go out of their way to say, no, I didn't mean that. It's just you. You're crazy. And this is where, I can't vibe with that. I can respect people that are willing to say, no, I didn't mean that, or I did mean that, or I see how I may have come across and I apologise, but however, this is what I really meant, For me, that is mature communication, and sadly for me, I have had some positive experiences, but I've had more negative experiences. So when it comes to, weighing up the odds of what I am trying to presume what people are doing, it's usually going to veer on that side if I don't have a clear dialogue, a clear, transparent dialogue, and honest dialogue with an individual, and I don't feel that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know. I'm just quite perplexed. I had an incident today happen, actually. And it was actually a gentleman that was trying to pursue me, apparently to collaborate with me musically. And to be honest, he already had a bit of a disagreement with me a few months back, but because I'm a forgiving person and he approached me again, I just thought, cool, they've apologised, whatever, they're trying to be friendly, let me be the bigger person, So I started obviously engaging in this dialogue, not with any intention to, entertain whatever request they had in their mind of some relationship or sexual demeanour. God knows, I wasn't even really interested. But just not to shut them down completely and to be friendly, I engaged in the whole interaction. And it turned into me, I'm the crazy person, me, I'm horrible, and all the rest of it. And due to him sending me a video of a Spanish girl singing and acting crazy and saying, I need a boob job and all this crap, which I find really disrespectful. I don't know about you, perhaps I am a bit OTT, but that don't go down well with me. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody has different boundaries. Every person has different levels of tolerance of what they will accept and what they won't accept. And anybody around you that doesn't respect those boundaries, they don't respect you. No matter how they want to sugarcoat it and paint it, I'm just doing banter, I'm just doing this or that. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be out here allowing individuals to treat us that way. And people like that are very, very, very dangerous, because they would manipulate you to think that you are the problem. And then when you react, then you look like the problem, And I just feel that there needs to be more awareness created around this type of dynamic, because it happens regularly, more frequently than it needs to happen. It happens in workplaces, it happens in personal environments, it happens everywhere. So I felt like I'm going to talk up more about it, you know? So yeah, going forward, if there's anyone else that feels that they are experiencing similar things, because I'm also in the process of creating like a shadow work kind of program that is going to involve journaling and all the rest of it, then please reach out. Please do make a comment underneath, because don't get me wrong, I'm down for the love and light. I think it's a beautiful movement. But I do also know that a lot of people in the spiritual community are too much on the positive side. Don't get me wrong, the end goal is, if it's possible, for humanity to be in peace and harmony. And that is my heart's desire. But realistically, in the times that we're in, you can't be a gardener